Pizza for dinner. Those were my favorite words growing up. Always ordered the same toppings: chicken sausages with mushrooms and extra cheese. No onion. Maybe I still do. I will neither confirm nor deny it. Anyways, everyone ordered their favorite kind of pizza with the toppings they preferred and were seldom disappointed. Needless to say, I too always returned home satisfied, not just because of the round, extravagant deliciousness that came in its own square box, but also because I could press my nose up against the glass and watch them being made. The system was flawless. As soon as the order came in, the first station would get to work. The person would pick up a round piece of dough and begin kneading and tossing it to form the base. The base was then passed to the next station. It had a long row of ingredients like the sauce, cheese, mushrooms, chicken and any other topping you can think of. They were placed in easy to access containers, all prepped and ready to be portioned and added onto the base. Once that was done, it was transferred into the oven on this large flat wooden spatula. 15 minutes later, a delicious pizza reached the table. So efficient. When you think about it, in terms of ingredients, time and human resource, nothing went to waste, and the customer always received exactly what they ordered. Many years later, my parents bought their first car, and much to my surprise, I found that the system that makes cars is very similar to how they made my pizza back in the restaurant. The only difference is, instead of people doing the work at every station, large machines are in charge of different stations and are programmed to put all the ingredients together in sequence and exactly the way it was ordered. This way, nothing extra was produced, stockpiled, and wasted. This efficient system was brought into existence because of a discipline called mechatronics. Hello, my name is Raghu Kumar. I have worked in the field of mechatronics. Today, we are going to talk about the role of mechatronics in smart production systems. When you look at the bigger picture, mechatronics is a mix of lot more like robotics, artificial intelligence, cyber security, telecommunications and optical engineering. With that, mechatronics has improved the concept of automation by allowing humans to engineer machines that could work with minimum human interference and complete the designated task with as much accuracy and efficiency as possible. Automation might seem like a relatively new technology to some of you, but in reality, it's not. It has been around for longer than we can imagine. Humans, even in the 18th century, were trying to automate things as complex as natural biological processes. Jack Vakanson's digesting duck is a classic example. Despite these attempts, early automation lagged far behind what we witness today. The automation scene changed in the 1970s. When mechatronics came into limelight, our world became more and more automated. Owing to this fact, companies innovated their manufacturing units and created smarter production systems. So how did mechatronics make systems smarter? You see, these smart production systems are not only capable of doing the usual drag and drop job, but they can diagnose when something is wrong and stop the production process until the problem is fixed. Then they will continue to produce with minimal human assistance. Now, this definitely sounds futuristic, but how do they manage to pull off this feat? Well, the answer to this lies in the power of knowledge. Due to the current technological advancements, these machines are built by amalgamating knowledge from different streams of engineering, because of which these smart production systems achieve performance levels that are beyond human capabilities. They are faster, consistent, more precise, and are not prone to fatigue. With these capabilities, manufacturing units manage to kill three birds with one stone. Well, not literal birds, but they are managed to reduce production costs, waste, and workplace related accidents. And to top it all, they also marked a remarkable improvement in the quality of the product. So many advantages. But how do these systems function? Do they have a brain of their own? Most of these systems use microcontrollers and sensors to function properly. And these microcontrollers can be thought of as the mind of the machines. They receive signals from the environment using sensors and then instruct the machines to carry out a task. Sort of how the brain works for us. This possibility opens the door to several innovations. For example, in earlier systems, materials used for production were transferred from conveyor belts manually. But mechatronics made it possible to automate the process using devices like barcode readers, imaging, and sound processors that are fitted along the line. Besides this, sensors in mechatronic systems ensure that the products made will be in the right shape, size, weight, and quality. Sensors also monitor the manufacturing units to make sure they are in the right temperature and pressure conditions. What is TPS? And one company which has efficiently used mechatronics to streamline their production system is Toyota. The automatic production system they created is called the Toyota Production System, or TPS. With TPS, Toyota was able to design vehicles more efficiently and also deliver them to the customers as swiftly as possible. So, what is the reason behind the high efficiency and speed? Well, Toyota built their production systems on two Japanese philosophies known as Jidoka and just in time. Jidoka, automation with human touch. Jidoka, like Sudoku, has the Japanese origin, meaning automation with a human touch. The story of Jidoka started from a power loom like this. Japanese inventor Sakichi Toyoda made a simple device that could stop the shuttle of the power loom if the thread broke. This mechanism helped immediately to shut down the machine and to signal that there's a problem. After this, the workers operating the loom could fix the problem and resume production. Through this revolutionary innovation, one operator was able to run more than one machine at a time, and it increased production capacity significantly. The benefits were so great that a company from the UK bought the patent and that provided Sakichi Toyoda the funding he needed to build Toyota. When it comes to manufacturing and product development in Toyota, the Jidoka system relies on four simple principles. First, discover an abnormality. Second, stop the process. Third, fix the immediate problem. Finally, investigate and solve the root cause. Thus, when a problem occurs in the Toyota factory, the equipment stops immediately, preventing the production of defective products. By intervening just in time, without having to wait for the humans, the Jidoka system saves time, cost, and the products. Just in time. Speaking of just in time, that's another philosophy that is incorporated into the TPS, making only what is needed, only when it is needed, and only in the amount that is needed. That's what JIT is all about. Taichi Ono and Eiji Toyoda believed that the cars could be produced without having to build a large stockpile of cars in all the available colors and hope that the people will buy them. Instead, they came up with the JIT system. Just like how the relevant ingredients were packed after the pizza was ordered, a car was produced only when the order was placed. Therefore, none of the parts needed to be pre-ordered and stored. They were made available only when needed, saving on inventory space, cost, and you guessed it, time. With these systems in place, Toyota's 1948 dream finally took shape. It was so successful that it revolutionized the way in which mass production was thought of. Mechatronic systems used in Jidoka, Toyota Motor Manufacturing Plant, Toyota Automated Guided Container Transport System. To get a better idea of this revolutionary process, let's walk through the Toyota production system. It starts with the die manufacturing process that uses computer-controlled laser technology to hand grind the tools. Once complete, the die comes to the stamping station. Stamping begins when team members move the giant metal coils using a remote control overhead crane. The coil is loaded to a blanking machine which straightens and cleans the metal, post which the metal is cut. Then the materials are checked for quality and moved to storage. When it is needed, the materials will be delivered from the storage to the pressing station, where automated lines press the metal to trim, bend and shape it into vehicle parts. Then the welding process starts. Here, different parts of the vehicle will be welded together by welder robots. Apart from the quality and capacity gains these robots provide, they take up evidently dangerous jobs like welding. Humans can face obvious danger while pouring molten metal in a foundry, or they can suffer musculoskeletal disorders resulting from heavy lifting, twisting and repetitive motions. But by using robots, they make sure that no human worker is put in harm's way. Workers are protected from exposure to fumes, weld flash and loud noise that result from carrying out operations like welding, which are typically used while building the body shell of a car. Typically, robots can build the body shell of a car within 2 hours. That's right, they save a lot of time. Once the shell is made, it is carried by another mechatronic contraption known as conveyor belt to another unit in the factory. Here, humans will attach various parts including doors, hoods and fenders to the body shell. The conveyor belts will then pull the upgraded body shells to the paint shop. Enter the just-in-time concept, just in time to save the day. Under this concept, a pulling method is used compared to the traditional pushing method. This simply means that a body shell is pulled into the paint shop only when needed, as opposed to the traditional system where cars are queued up one after the other and pushed from one station to the next, irrespective of the number of orders that were actually received. In the paint shop, painter robots color Toyota's vehicles with precision. After painting, vehicles are moved to selectively banks ready to be pulled to the next station when needed. While the outer body is going through the welding and painting process, the engines are built simultaneously in another unit. During this automated process, precision and accuracy is important, which is why the Jidoka concept springs into action when any problem is encountered, making sure the products are error-free. After the engines are ready, Automated carts transport them to the assembly point. Sounds simple enough, but take a look at this labyrinth of a factory. Even humans with all their superior sensors are sure to lose their way. So how do these sightless vehicles find their way without bumping into everything? The answer lies in a system called the Toyota Automated Guided Container Transport System. And guess what? This is also fueled by mechatronic principles. The automated carts are fitted with something called RFID or radio frequency identification readers. These systems basically work with the help of radio waves. They read the signals that are received from the RFID tags that are embedded in the floor. These tags are programmed with the location coordinates that guide the automated carts to navigate smoothly around the factory space, much like a GPS system. For the movement of these automated guided vehicles, Toyota's system features multiple path programming, retractable towing pin, remote communication and multi-safety items, including optical sensors which basically act like the eyes, preventing all the bumping and bruising that is otherwise likely to take place. It also uses a blue LED light to warn pedestrians when coming out of hidden areas or blind spots. With the help of these systems, vehicles are prevented from accidents. For instance, if two vehicles come to an intersection at the same time, both will come to a stop. Then the system will provide one of the vehicles the right way to proceed through the intersection. In this way, both the carts will lead on safely to the assembly point. Once at the assembly point, the other parts of the car will be added. For instance, the car seats using the just-in-time model. So, let's see how cars take their seats. After the vehicle bodies are painted by robots, the information is sent to the seat supplier. The supplier builds seats according to the vehicle model and ships them to the assembly line. Then, an overhead conveyor will pick the seat from the delivery truck and take it to the installation site. In this way, an entire car is made from start to finish, leaving no space for error and excess. How mechatronics can evolve in automated production systems. So, by combining some old Japanese philosophy with the discipline of mechatronics, Toyota gained large advantages in the industry. So much so that in 2019, Toyota was dubbed the most valuable automotive brand worldwide. They successfully optimized the flow of goods while minimizing damage, time and cost. Humans became available to handle more complex tasks instead of repetitive processes. However, even systems like TPS are not fully devoid of human interference just yet. But how long will that be the case? That's a question for another day. Mechatronics as a field is evolving day by day and is able to absorb and apply new technologies like the Internet of Things, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and big data to move towards new possibilities. Soon, an amalgamation of these streams will enable devices to work and communicate with one another and make decisions without major human interventions. A career in mechatronics means that you'll have to be a jack of all trades. So if you like dabbling your hand in multiple pots related to mechanical engineering, computer science and electronics, and if you are forever a curious cat, then the field of mechatronics has a lot to offer you.